The Boston Celtics start slow, but Payton Pritchard is there to bail them out. Plus, the hilarious Giannis and Jaylen back and forth in one of the worst missed calls an official can make. It's all right now on the Locked On Celtics podcast.
Thanks to Blockbuster Brand, it's holiday season, drop Jrue in the mix. And 3 from KG, no we not on the Knicks. Flushing competition like Al on Giannis. Juice and Big Deuce, still Beantown's finest. Banner 18 going up in the rafters. Watch the C's game in Locked On after. Karalis on the breakdown, clutch like a tip from D. White on the breakdown. John on the mic, documenting domination. Matter pen a back bay, it's all C's nation. Rain and Jace, how it started, raising banners, how we finish. Locked On Celtics pod, home of the winners. Peace.
Hey there, welcome back to the Locked On Celtics podcast. It's right here in the Locked On Podcast Network. It's your team every day. I got you covered every Monday through Friday with a free podcast that drops directly to your device, plus bonus podcasts on the weekend. If you missed the podcast after the Nets game, I got you. It's right there for you. This week, they play on Saturday, so I'll have a bonus podcast for you on Saturday night after they play the Toronto Raptors. So make sure you're subscribed wherever you get your podcast. Watch the show on YouTube and get into the comment section. Seriously, might be the best comment section on YouTube because it's a lot of fun over there with all the Celtics family. I'm John Karalis. I am the beat writer for Boston Sports Journal covering the Celtics. I've been covering the team for about 20 years now. I'm also the author of Built Different. You can buy that. You can buy my other book, The Boston Celtics All-Time All-Stars. Buy them both. You know what? I think I might do a package deal. Well, that thought just popped into my head. Maybe a package deal. Both of these books for the holidays. Let's do that. Buy it at johnkaralis.com for that book. They're $30 a piece, signed, delivered. $30 gets you the book in the United States. If you want the book somewhere else in the world, it's going to cost a lot more. But there are other options that we can do. All right. Who cares about that stuff? Today's show is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase of last-minute tickets. Boston Celtics get the win in Milwaukee, 113-107. They are now 9-2. They once again started slow, down 16-2. How odd is it that they gave up 16-2 runs in 2 straight games? I don't think I've ever seen that before. Once again, they come out slow, lethargic. I don't like the starts. I'll be honest with you. It's just they've overcome it. Thank you, Payton Pritchard. Twice in a row now, Payton Pritchard has come in and saved the Celtics in the second quarter. I talk about clutch baskets, clutch play, not coming in the fourth quarter. 2 games in a row now, Pritchard has been clutch for the Celtics. 11 points in the second quarter against Brooklyn, 12 against the Milwaukee Bucks in the first half. He steps up with 17 first half points to keep the Celtics afloat. That's huge. I don't like the fact that the Celtics have just come out so kind of blah to start these games. They survived 2 of them, but I'd like to see it be a little bit better execution wise. Now, to the Bucks' credit, they came out super hot. I think it's a little easy to get hot though when the defense isn't there. Now you got a Giannis 3-pointer, you got a couple of Giannis jump shots. When those are falling, Milwaukee's impossible to beat. And they were falling early and the Celtics fell behind by, I think it was 17 at one point. So a little bit of their own fault, a little bit of Milwaukee shooting variance, and you just have to live with that. Some of it, I think if the Celtics played well, they might have still been down because of the shots. They wouldn't have been down 16-2. Maybe they would have been down 16-8 or 10. It's just a little bit more manageable early on. Again, it didn't really matter. The Celtics opened up the third quarter on like an 11-0 run. All of a sudden, the defense was really on point. Another thing I haven't seen from this team is going into the half with no steals and no blocks. That's for this team. That is unheard of. Between the two guards and the just Al Horford even Jaylen and Jayson can get everybody in this team can get a steal or a block or something. That tells you how the defense really wasn't locked in early. But then in the second half, 5 steals, 2 blocks. And Derrick White, obviously awesome. Jrue Holiday, awesome. Everybody steps up and is pretty good in that second half. But Pritchard, I mean, that man can just hit from anywhere. What a luxury it is for the Celtics to have a guy that good coming off the bench. I never want to talk about awards. In fact, before this game started, I heard people on TV, just the phrase 6 man of the year comes out, and it's like, oh God, can we, I get it, and can we just table this for another month or so? But then Pritchard goes and has this game, and you're like, oh no, I guess we can't table it, because he's the best player off the bench right now by a healthy margin. He has scored 182 points off the bench this season. That's 38 more than anyone else off the bench. 43 3-pointers off the bench. He's literally 43 of 100. So he's shooting 43% from from 3. 12 more 3-pointers than anyone else off the bench. He is the first Celtics player to have at least 15 points and 3 3-pointers off the bench in 5 straight games. He is currently the best reserve in the league, and I don't know that it's close. It's November, so that can change, and we've seen over history undoubtedly numbers that I'd have to go back and do the research, but probably dozens of players who are called front runners for awards in November, December, and who aren't even close by the time the season is over. So I don't want to go too crazy here, but Pritchard right now is playing incredibly. And having a guy like that off the bench is so huge, because you have to guard him. He has to be guarded. If you lose him at all, he's hitting. He's hitting from 25. He's hitting from 27. He is shooting 45% on shots between 25 and 29 feet. The line is 23 feet, 9 inches. So go back a foot and 3, like almost a foot and a half behind the line, and up to like 4.5 feet behind the line. And he's shooting 45% on those shots. The only place he's not hitting from is 30 feet plus, and those are like the heaves, and he's 2 of 13 on everything 30 plus. So if you take those out of the mix, he's shooting 47% from 3 on like normal 3-pointers. Filter out the heaves and the, kind of like the desperation shots. He's shooting 47% from 3. Pritchard is incredible to start the season, and the Celtics come out slow, and he bails them out. So one of my first reactions to this game is just clutch play from Pritchard, and, defending, and, the 3-level scoring, getting to the rim, all of that stuff the past couple of games has been on display. Pritchard is off the charts, and, you can hear it from the players. Jrue Holiday was on the FanDuel show on NBA TV, and he's like, Payton's cold, man. He's cold. Like, they do a drill where they guard Payton full court. Just guard Payton full court. So Pritchard's going against some of the best defenders in the league, and they're trying to guard him, and he's going up against, like, no wonder he's playing well. That's what he does every day. So tremendous bench contribution. It gives the Celtics enough time to wake up in the second half. Let's talk about Jayson Tatum's second half, Jrue Holiday, Derrick White, and then I'll save this fun stuff for the third segment. Jaylen Brown and Giannis in the Tatum no call. The no call on the Tatum, Giannis slides under his foot, and Tatum actually turns his ankle. I'll talk about that in the third segment. one of the absolute most egregious no calls that an official can make. It is, I don't know how they're going to discipline Natalie Sago, but that is a call that absolutely cannot be missed. I'll talk about all that stuff coming up. Today's show is brought to you by FanDuel. It's America's #1 sports book. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place your live bets on the NFL or the NBA all in one place. So if you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, you can check out the latest play-by-play, and so much more when in the same place you place your bets. I know that at some point after the 16-2 run, you could have said the Celtics are coming back from this. The Celtics were actually underdogs in the game at that point. So in-game live betting, if you wanted to place your first $5 bet there, that would have paid off for you. And you would have gotten those $150 bet in bonus bets because that would have won. So go to FanDuel.com, join today, use the tools that they have, use the tools to set your limits, set your budget. So you can only, set it so you can, you bet only what you can afford to lose. It's basically how it is. So whatever your disposable income is, there it is. And you can have some fun. Gamble responsibly. It can be fun. At FanDuel.com, you get started with $150 in bonus bets. If your first $5 bet wins at FanDuel.com, never waste a hunch. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Thank you for making Locked On Celtics your first listen every day. Go check out Locked On Celtics Postcast, which comes up immediately after this game, the game's on this feed, this audio feed. So when you fire up your podcasting app right after a game, Steve Lennox goes live on the Locked On Sports Boston YouTube page. So you go there if you want to check it out live. After that's done, it uploads to this audio feed. So it'll be there on your app. Then after I'm done with all of my beat writing, column writing, all of that stuff, I have a bit of a more in-depth podcast that is on this feed and on the Locked On Celtics YouTube feed. The Locked On Celtics YouTube feed stays unchanged. So check it out. Locked On Celtics Postcast, Locked On Celtics Podcast, all right here. Let's get back into Locked On Celtics and Tatum's big second half. Tatum in the first half, slow start. Much like the last game, this very much mirrored the Brooklyn game in that Tatum struggled early. First half, 8 points, 2 of 7 shooting, 1 of 4 from 3. Got to the line 4 times, but 8 points for him. And Jaylen Brown also not the best offensive night, but really good defensive night, I think, for Jaylen. Took the challenge defending Damian Lillard. Now, he wasn't the only guy guarding Damian Lillard, but Dame had a rough night. One of the most impressive things, not just that they held Dame to 14 points on 4 of 15 shooting, 1 of 8 from 3, and only 5 free throws. He lived at the line in that last matchup against Boston. But super impressive, 0 points in the fourth quarter of a close game. They held Damian Lillard to 0 points on 0 of 2 shooting in the fourth quarter of a game that was tight. Back and forth, Milwaukee even took a lead at one point in the fourth quarter. But that's impressive. So Tatum in the second half all of a sudden comes to life. And 23 points, 5 of 14 shooting, 3 of 8 from 3, 10 of 11 from the line, gets aggressive, gets to the line, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. 19 of those points came after that no call on the foul. So I'll get to that later on, but I just want to say, shout out to Jayson Tatum. He had that foul. He turned his ankle. He would have been justifiably upset. And getting a tech in that moment would have made total sense, because that's like I said before, it's one of the worst calls a ref can miss. And they took the timeout. They worked on his ankle. He is fine. or at least was fine enough to return to the game. He said what he needed to say to Natalie Sago. They got back to playing, and he didn't let it rattle him. 19 points after that, and really the catalyst. The Celtics turned up the defense, got their offense going. In the first half, the Celtics, 69-58, they were down. They kept that offense going, 55 points. No one really shot well outside of Pritchard. Well, I guess Derrick White and Jrue Holiday in the second half combined for 6 for 10. They shot well, just not enough. And but the defense there, 55-38. That's a big second half. Tatum in the second half was really, really good. He did have a couple of turnovers, but I thought that was that's what you need to see from Jayson Tatum. Like I said, Derrick White, Jrue Holiday. D. White was just all over the place as usual. Holiday closed the door. An incredible finish for him to close the door on this Bucks team. 1:35 to go. He hits 2 free throws to make it a 5-point game. But 5-point game with 1:35 is still plenty of time. But Holiday gets a steal, and then the Celtics come down. Tatum misses. Holiday gets the rebound, gets it back to Tatum. Tatum does miss again, but by the time the Bucks got the ball back and got down and took another shot, they had burned more than a minute off the clock. It was like 1 minute and 8 seconds, I believe, between Holiday's second free throw to make it a 5-point game and Milwaukee's next shot attempt. And by that time, it's 30-something seconds to go in the game. So even though they didn't score, the offensive rebound, the steal takes away a possession from Milwaukee. The offensive rebound extends Boston's possession. That's execution enough to put this game away, because by the time Milwaukee got the ball back to come down and try and take it, like, they missed that shot and it was over. It was just the free throw game after that. And that was it. Under normal circumstances, the Bucks could have come down and maybe hit a shot, and it would have been a 3-point game or a 2-point game, and it would have been a really tense back and forth. But Holiday was incredible in that stretch to kind of put this game away. So again, the total combined stats for Holiday and White: 30 points on 11 of 23 shooting, 6 of 14 from 3, 8 rebounds, 9 assists, 3 steals, and a block. So out of the 5 steals and 2 blocks in the second half, 3 belonged to White and Holiday, and Derrick White got one of the blocks. He almost got 2, but it was credited to Al Horford. But Holiday coming in, that block on Giannis just out of nowhere, he's a menace, just an absolute menace. So the Celtics, like I said before, I want to see them start games better. I don't like this trend. It's starting. It's not a concern yet, but now I'm starting to get like a little bit annoyed, right? It's like you go outside and there's like a couple of flies around your head and you're just like, whatever. And then a couple more of those little flies, those little, I don't know, gnats or whatever. They start like, okay, this is okay, whatever. You start swatting them away. And now you're like, okay, I'm starting to get a little annoyed here by this. Is it a big deal? No. But now I'm getting annoyed because it's 3 straight slow starts, 2 of them down 16-2. You see Mazzulla call early timeouts. He never loves calling those early timeouts. He hates calling those early timeouts. And he said, now, Joe said that the matchups, there were some matchup things that he didn't like, and those were on him, which may have been like, maybe he didn't like Luke Cornett in that spot. Maybe he didn't like some of the substitution patterns there. Keita comes in. I didn't think Keita had a notable game at all. It was just it was an okay game. Like he did his job, but part of the double big, like he kind of helped protect the rim a little bit more. Giannis was getting to the rim at will early in the game. His first half was just ridiculous again. He had 27 points, 12 of 16 shooting. Kata comes in and kind of helps mitigate that to some degree. In the second half, 6 of 13, 16 points. It's a little bit of a difference there, right? 16 points versus the 27 points. So you just want to keep Giannis in check, like a little bit enough. And Kata, I do think was part of the plan to do that. So some adjustments in the second half helped that. But I still would like to see the Celtics come out with a little bit more urgency. Now they play the Hawks on Tuesday night. First Emirates Cup game. So we're going to see the new green court, which I think it actually doesn't look bad. It's not like last year, but it doesn't look great. But I don't know. I got to see it in person. But anyway, I'd like to see them come out and blast the Hawks early. And just remember that point differential matters in those Emirates Cup games. So I'm hoping that is enough to kind of push the Celtics to come out hot, start hot. If they actually do want to win this thing, which they say they do, then you got to come out strong and don't be behind 16-2 and bury them early and just keep piling it on. So, all right, but we'll move on from that. Jaylen versus Giannis, kind of hilarious, kind of interesting, something to watch. And that Tatum no call, we'll talk about all of that stuff when I come back. Today's show is brought to you by Game Time. Now, you can use Game Time to do anything, to go get those tickets to just about anything that's sold online. It does not have to be a sporting event, though you can use it, pick up some tickets maybe to the Bruins or the Patriots, or if you're not in the Boston area, a team of your choice, maybe some minor league sports. But you can also go to a comedy show. Kevin Hart was just in Boston on Sunday night. You could have gotten tickets to that on Game Time, whatever you want. Use the Game Time Picks feature. It filters out the fluff so you can get incredible deals on great seats. You don't have to waste your time scrolling and searching through 1,000 tickets. They have the lowest price guarantee. So when you do actually buy the tickets, you're going to get the best price because they'll credit you 110% of the difference. Turn on the all-in pricing so you can see that feature up front. You turn on that feature and you can see the price you're going to pay up front. You always get the panoramic view from your seat. So you're going to see what you'll see at the event. So is this a good seat or not? Is this a good view or not? So that Game Time Picks feature curates the tickets for you. All these other features make sure you get a great seat at the lowest price. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time and Game Time Picks. Download the app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem the code LOCKEDON, LOCKED, LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game time. Thank you for making Locked On Celtics your first listen every day. Hey, make sure you are subscribed to the Locked On NBA newsletter. It's daily. It's a one-stop for ultimate team and league coverage. It's delivered right to your inbox. Sign up for free at LockedOnDaily.com. That's LockedOnDaily.com. Start your day with the all-new free Locked On Celtics newsletter. Jaylen Brown versus Giannis Antetokounmpo was kind of funny. So he gets the switch on Giannis plenty of times, and they're going back and forth and whatever. There's a moment there where he gets Giannis. Giannis turns and high elbow, boom, right into Jalen's face. I do not know why that wasn't reviewed. I know Scal on the broadcast said he's happy it wasn't reviewed, but generally speaking, elbows to the head are reviewed in the NBA. Don't know why that one wasn't. Okay, it wasn't. Fine. Offensive foul. As Jaylen is coming down the floor, Giannis gives him the hand. It's like, all right, hey, buddy. Like he's giving like the my bad. And Jaylen goes for it, and Giannis does the, too slow. Kind of up, like the pulling his hand up to his head. And then he puts his hand out again. And like Jaylen didn't buy it again, but I think he would have done it again if Jaylen like went for it. It's objectively funny to see a grown man, an NBA megastar, do the too slow handshake fake out thing in the middle of an NBA game. It is so ridiculous. It is. Giannis loves dad jokes, and that is the dad joke of, like, I guess, hand gestures. That one kind of was hilarious. After the game, Jaylen said Giannis is a child. I don't think he has a problem necessarily with Giannis, but like, I feel like this season Jaylen is like super serious. He is super serious. Like, watching some of the Jumbotron bits that they do, like the Jaylen Brown, the other day they were doing how many unread texts do you have? And Jaylen was like, I got like 2,000. Yeah, did anybody else say more than 2,000? Nah, whatever. Like, he couldn't be bothered. He couldn't be bothered with the bit on the Jumbotron. He couldn't be bothered. And this is like all done at media day. It's not like they did it yesterday. He couldn't be bothered by it. He seems like he's just taking everything very seriously this year, which is great. That's great. Sure. I'd rather have him be a little too serious than not serious enough. And then later on, when Giannis was coming down the other end in the second half, Jaylen just two-hand shove, boom, right in the chest. He got the flagrant foul. He said after the game, no, there wasn't a mess. It was just playing basketball. And maybe, but also I think he was also sending a little bit of a message. Because he paused giving that answer after the game. He was like, was there a message there? He's like, no, just playing basketball. Like, there was enough of a pause where he made it clear he was thinking about whether he should answer that question honestly or say it was just basketball. And he chose to say it was just basketball. But just watch what the Celtics play the Bucks again December 6th. So a few weeks. Watch those two. I think there might be something there. There might be something brewing there between those two. Now let's finish on this Jayson Tatum foul call, which was a big moment and luckily not a terribly serious moment for the Celtics. He goes up. It's, I forget what the score was. It's in the 70s, like 76, 74, something like that. Is 7 or 8 minutes to go in the third quarter. Tatum rises up for a corner three. Love the fact that he's taking these corner threes now. He's getting these catch and shoot opportunities. I love it. I've been begging for Jayson Tatum to get more catch and shoot opportunities for a long time now. So here he is. He gets a catch and shoot opportunity. He's there in the corner. He rises up. He lands. Natalie Sago is on the baseline. This is the left corner. So if you're on the baseline, it's on the right. It's right in front of the Bucks bench. He goes up. Sago is standing there. You can see from the replay, she is looking at the challenge, the hand, the release. She's not looking down at the feet. Now you can look there to see if there's a foul, but also you should be looking down. You should go. You're very easy to like shift your gaze down to see when he lands so you can catch the landing spot foul. The landing spot foul is one of the points of emphasis and has been a point of emphasis for years now. It's a very important call in the NBA with so many 3-point shots being taken and so many aggressive closeouts. The landing spot, I know some people are like, it's not a big deal, but the landing spot foul, just sliding that foot underneath somebody, that can turn somebody's ankle. There's a reason why that call is there. And it's a reason why that's so important. And on top of, like, it didn't matter if that was Jaden Springer taking that shot. You don't want to see him get hurt. But on top of it, it was Jayson Tatum. Now, he seemed fine. He finished the game. It's going to be sore tomorrow. I don't know. Is he going to miss that game on Tuesday? Probably not, because he tends to play anyway. But that's something that lingers for a little while. And maybe he misses the back-to-back. I don't know. But regardless, you cannot be an official standing there looking directly at a play and have somebody land on someone's foot, turn his ankle, fall, and have there be no call. That is one of the absolute cardinal sins of officiating. You were right there. You were looking at the play. You were in position to make an important call. It is a potential flagrant foul call. Not only is it protecting the player, it's potentially 3 free throws and the ball. That is a potential 6-point swing for the Celtics. That is a massive swing in any game for any team. You cannot take that away from any team in any situation. And as an official, you can't be like, oh, sorry, I missed it. That's not something that you miss. You cannot miss that call. That is just aggressively bad. And I don't know what the discipline is, but that's a call. I mean, that's a call that prevents somebody from getting to playoff games. And that means that's money that she wouldn't be getting. But she probably, like, there has to be some sort of either fine or suspension or something like you're not getting this next game or something, because that is so egregiously bad. That is so egregiously bad. So, and after the game, Joe Mazzulla said it's ridiculous. Jayson Tatum tweeted out, like, there's some calls you just can't miss. I 100% agree. I don't want to belabor this point. I've made my point. That is a horrible, horrible, horrible call. And if the Celtics had lost this game, like I said, if that's 3 free throws, imagine 3 free throws plus the Celtics get a 2 or a 3 after that. You go from, at that point, they were making a run. I gotta find where this happened here, because it was 7 minutes and 9 seconds. It was 76-72 Milwaukee. And if they had a 5-point swing, that was 77. It would have been 77-76. Now, eventually it was 78-76 because the Celtics kept their run going, but add 5 points to that and it would have been 83-76. Like, that's not exactly how it works, but that's a massive swing. And so it's not just about protecting players. You're talking about, you're impacting how a game, the flow of the game. And you don't want to do that. So we'll see what happens, what comes out of that. So the Celtics get the win. They're 9-2. The Milwaukee Bucks lose. They are struggling. They are now 2-8, tied with the Raptors. Philadelphia won, so they're 2-7. And the Washington Wizards are 2-6. I never thought there'd be a point in the season where the Milwaukee Bucks were a game behind the Washington Wizards. That is so outrageous. So outrageous to me. They're in a bad way. We'll see what happens to them. But what I know is the Celtics are 9-2, 2 games behind the undefeated Cleveland Cavaliers. That's crazy. I will be back tomorrow with another podcast. And then, like I said, the Celtics play this week. They play their Emirates Cup game on Tuesday night, 7:00 against Atlanta. They go to Brooklyn for the back-to-back, couple days off, and then Saturday night they play Toronto. So not the most difficult schedule, but we just saw Brooklyn, and they were tough, and they don't get blown out very, very often. So that won't be an easy game. And then the Cavs. So if the Cavs can keep it going, Celtics have the Cavs on the 19th. Ooh, could be a belt game. All right. I'm going to wrap it up here. Thank you so much for listening and for watching. I really appreciate you being an everydayer. Thank you so, so much. You don't know how much it means to me that to have people screaming out first listen at the TD Garden. And if you're at the TD Garden, you see me, please come by and say hi. I would love to see you, love to meet you. I'm always very happy to meet anybody that listens to the podcast. Makes me very happy. So come on by. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Get onto that YouTube page, get into the comment section, and spread the word. Also, share the podcast. Tell everybody they should be listening to and watching the Locked On Celtics podcast. Here on the Locked On Podcast Network, it's your team every day.